1962, the General Service Medal served as a tribute to the men and women who stood on the front lines of conflict, upholding the principles of duty, honor, and resilience. This medal was first issued to Corporal A. Thomas of the Royal Air Force. The medal number is 7521. This is an original General Service Medal. As we traverse the terrain of global wealth today, the spirit of this distinguished medal serves as the beacon guiding the Good Fellows Initiative. It is my honor to announce the presentation of the General Service Medal of 1962 by our Chairman Lakshmi to His Excellency Udaya Indrarathna.
His Excellency Udaya Indrarathna is a Sri Lankan Ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of London Executive Coaching and Consulting, former Senior Advisor to Abu Dhabi Government and former Executive Director for Policy and Strategy for Government of Dubai, innovator of the celebrated 7-day Mini MBA Program. We are deeply honored and privileged to have the presence of His Excellency Udaya Indrarathna on the stage with us now. A true Renaissance man of the modern times, he has a unique and amazing life journey which we hope to dive into. Your Excellency, welcome to Good Talks.
Thank you, Mr. Narayan. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your invite and my selection to this honor.
It's our pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Your Excellency is well known for your keynote speeches, especially on the topic uncovering the leaders. Could you please share with us the crux of the series?
Yeah, see, Mr. Narayan, there are a lot of leaders, but there are very few who take the leadership trait seriously, saying this is my situation, I take my situation into a control and I will take from whatever situation A to B. As I discussed in my last panel session, I'll repeat here. Obviously, as a leader, you need to be having a strategy competency, because strategy competency is the most important for a leader. How do you visionize? How you build value proposition? How do you build market standing and so on? For that, you need quite a lot of road mapping and skill of that nature. The second, as I said before, is about how do you then build execution capability within your company and so on. So it's very, very important that the strategy has a matching execution capability. Third, as I said, unless you hire right people on meritocracy basis, you cannot run a company, right? Because it's very important as a selection criteria. The fourth being, even though you have the right talent, unless you have a mindset of continually developing the talent, still you can't sustain. So you need to acquire talent and develop further talent. The last is your personal proficiency, personal brand. Mr. Narayan, as you know, many companies, if you don't have the role model leader, is really you cannot sustain. So my leadership series, which we call Uncovering Leader in You, I kind of tell people, how do you become a leader and how do you run a company, which I call enterprise, and how do you navigate enterprise in the most scientific manner. The problem is the leaders use a lot of power, but not the science. So I am an advocate of corporate science, where how do you use strategic tools within a company, where you build sustainable knowledge within a company environment and build this harmony and synergy within. So as a leader, if you have scientific mind and people focus, and if you have that idea of saying, I am going to build my people to next level, then you have a real cohesive, coherent company. And that's what I do.
So you had a great journey in your life. You might have seen a lot of people who's influenced you and inspired you. Do you have any stories about the people who have greatly influenced or inspired you? What about those experiences made them stand out?
Mr. Narayan, I think it's a very good question. It's a very personal question. There are few, but as a youngster, my father used to work in UAE. So I came to UAE as an 18-year-old. I was inspired by one person initially. That's called Father of the Nation of UAE, His Highness late Sheikh Sultan Zayed Al Nahyan. You have no idea that a leader of that nature, how a desert nation was transformed into this level of magnitude. So I really fell in love with this leader, and I was saying to myself, I don't want to live anywhere else in the world. As you know, I studied in the West, I studied in US. No, my heart was in UAE, because we had a ruler who was unifying the nation, and with such a tolerance policy gave us hope and everything everyone needed. So I would say from my heart, the person that in my mind as my role model, the most influential is UAE late ruler Sheikh Zayed Sultan Al Nahyan. May God bless our ruler, the father of nation.
Thank you. I say it's an easy to be a leader, but the difficult task is to make other leaders. So when somebody makes another leaders, you make them as a kingmaker. You are a world-renowned CEO coach.
Thank you.
And you are a creator of a unique 7-day MBA program. How does the tool you have developed help those who want to become like you or who would like to want to become a leader?
Mr. Narayan, a very good question. As you know, I was a study catalyst, and I was given very serious task in my life. So what I faced was a problem of our teams not understanding the McKinseys, BCGs of this world in terms of understanding large, big plans. So what I did was I sat with my team, I start coaching them this journey and so on. I knew the impactfulness that was created as a result of that coaching part. The 2 became 4, 4 became 8, 8 became 10. So some of them have degrees and Harvard MBAs and so on. So I felt the jargon was too big to handle. So I was inspired at that time to create a program of my own. How can I teach the corporate science in the most easiest scientific way? So I look at Harvard MBA, I look at the Stanford MBA, from 2 from US, I look at the London Business School MBA and INSEAD, 2 from Europe. I put all the subjects together. And then I have an inborn ability to squeeze things. As you know, I'm a roadmap specialist. I use that talent in building a mini MBA, and by putting this together, typically an MBA has 12 subjects. I added 4 more subjects such as merger acquisitions and startup investor pitch and so on. And I mastered to teach alone the 16 subjects in a 10-year attempt. So this 10-year attempt made me executive coach with content. So what I do is a company is called Enterprise. Enterprise has architecture, it's a strategy architecture, business vertical architecture, consumer and investor pitch, and then support services. So I navigate a CEO or aspiring CEO all the way down. I'm pulling from both sides of my mini MBA where it matters. So I'm teaching how you run a company scientifically, how do you navigate a company scientifically with sustainable knowledge. So that's became a hit, and I've got so many successful CEOs around the world that I've been coaching them, and I could see the results, and some I can't even name them. And so I think I'm inspired with my initiative. At that time I didn't realize how important that could be. But Mr. Narayan, I think education is the most important thing, and I think putting the focus on the corporate side now on the family businesses, that how do you build sustainable family businesses, the corporate, I think that my mini MBA helped a lot, and I think I'm very glad you asked me this question.
Succession planning is one of the difficult tasks when it comes to family offices. It's not easy to pass on the generational wealth. Succession planning sometimes breaks a wealthier family in bits and pieces. So the biggest challenge in the family offices is to hold the succession planning. In the next 2 years, globally we are going to see around $6 trillion of wealth is going to pass on from this generation to the next generation. So His Excellency Udaya has been helping various families in the succession plannings. Thank you, Udaya, for doing that one. Let's talk about your country, Sri Lanka. I know that you are not a diplomatic, or you are not came from a diplomatic service to become an ambassador of Sri Lanka. I also had a lot of opportunity to talk and understand the passion for your country, the love one for your country, Sri Lanka. As an ambassador of Sri Lanka, one of the fast prospering country, and it went through challenges, but still it's making global news. What's your future plans?
Yeah, first of all, Mr. Narayan, great question. I think it's a timely question. My beautiful country, Sri Lanka, is the most resilient country. They are real fighters. We have been through everything, tsunamis to wars to bomb blast to everything. But once we are challenged, corners, our people get together so fast. So my quest to my people is that, please, the inclusion is the most important. The separate mindsets have damaged us so much. Last 50, 60 years, I think unity is the most important. But now, we gone through, as I told you, Mr. Narayan, we are the fastest recovery country in a situation like now. As you know, IMF given us a bailout, and our tourism is booming. Our economy is thriving once again. We have a very powerful, experienced president in house who's gathering resources together, including asking me to be the ambassador of Arab Emirates. So I think things are very, very positive for Sri Lanka. Again, I may be biased, but the Sri Lankans are one of the most talented people in the world. There's no question about that. So the problem is the comparative advantage of Sri Lanka as a country with all the resources. We were not being able to build to a competitive advantage. So now, obviously, the task is that the given comparative advantage in terms of resources, people, island nation, and so on, now we need to build and convert to competitive advantage. And I'm sure our bad experience united us, and we are very determined to make a comeback. And you will see in a serious manner, Sri Lanka will make huge comeback. We have huge opportunities in terms of investment. We have a lot of distressed properties in sense as instead of enterprises for sale. Any investor that are interested can very easily get together and facilitate that. We have port city, one of the biggest in Asia. We have a lot of offerings. So once the foreign direct investment comes to Sri Lanka, with all the other strategy in hand plus tourism and so on, will be a force to reckon in Asia. And I'm very hopeful, I'm very optimistic that Sri Lanka will be very quickly a powerful nation once again.
You help other families to build legacies, philanthropy. Let's talk about your family, your legacy, how you want it to be, and what. Let's understand that.
Yeah, Mr. Narayanan, thank you. Mr. Narayanan, I come from an ordinary family, and my father was ex-army officer, and my mother housewife. But yet they had a lot of, as Sri Lankans have a habit of giving. My father was the Lions Club president and Lions Club minister and so on, and my mother was also a part of that setup. So my house was always full of people. My father was always a giver, and my mother was as well. Unfortunately, both of them passed away 4 years ago, and so we have a home of giving and doing something to the society. Fortunately, I also have that kind of mindset, always giving to the society mindset. So I think I thank my parents for creating that environment at my home. And I think without for them, I would not be here. And they teach us a lot of very good things. And I think giving is one, and also become very good citizens also was part of my family's legacy. And I think good question asking, and I want to continue doing what my parents taught me to do.
What's next?
Mr. Narayan, I'm ambassador for a couple of years more, and I think my first endeavor is to help Sri Lanka to come out of the trouble they have by bringing investors. I'm on a very focused strategy for Sri Lanka on 7 pillars. One is foreign direct investment to Sri Lanka, tourism. Third is how I build an export economy for Sri Lanka. Fourth is the foreign relations. Fifth is inclusive society in UAE, where 330,000 people live. Fifth is giving an agri opportunity, food security for UAE, diplomacy, so on. So I'm on a very focused strategy to help my country with my others home, UAE, will be my first home rather than second home. So we hope definitely there'll be some bigger game changer. Beyond this is that, as I mentioned to you, I'm in love with UAE. I'm writing a book, the book about the leadership trait of the UAE leaders, and a masterclass to tell the world how you run a country. I think it should be a book that everybody should read. How in 52 years a desert was transformed in every aspect to this kind of level. So the idea is to first is every university student, every leader should learn from, I think, the UAE model in terms of humanity and science and all the social fabric, how they develop such a country scientifically. I believe there's a misperception that we have oil and concrete and so on, but I want to change that thinking and writing a legendary book that will perhaps change a lot of young people, their thinking and also science. How do you live in a cohesive country with a lot of tolerance to everyone, and how you become much better citizens around the world, and UAE to be a role model. And I think that's the book I'm writing.
Your passion and your patriotism for Sri Lanka and your passion for the United Arab Emirates is incredible. Thank you so much, His Excellency Udaya Indrarathna. What an amazing journey this has been. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for His Excellency Ambassador Udaya Indrarathna. Thank you, sir, for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you.